The last time you and I collaborated on a project, to this degree, it was the needle-felted and paper clay sculpted snowman.
Yes. Yeah, we can put the link in the info box down below.
Yeah.
Or figure out how to put it on the video.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
So that was fun.
That was fun.
I thought it was successful.
Yeah.
But now we're collaborating again.
Yes.
On a devil.
Yeah.
Or a demon of some sort. You know, I drew the design. You felted everything.
Right.
And I sculpted the paper clay parts.
Yes.
It might seem like a shocking turnaround to go from an innocent carrot-nosed snowman
right.
to the great deceiver.
Yes.
So just to clear things up, just to get this out of the way, so people aren't alarmed, would you say that you are, in fact, pro-devil? Or anti-devil?
Huh. Wow, you really put me on the spot.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're not really answering, which seems to have given me the answer. Because surely anyone who is anti-demon would trip over themselves in a rush to proclaim so. So I think we all kind of know now that you're in league with the devil.
Oh, no.
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 Of course not.
Of course.
Of course not. For months we've been having fun.
Yeah.
Drawing or felting monsters and fiends.
Right.
From the great panoply of pop culture villains.
Right, exactly.
You know, and we have a laugh with that.
Yeah.
So we just figured, let's try a project where we recreate who some might believe to be the original villain.
Yes.
The original bad guy.
Yes.
Supervillain Prime.
Yes.
But this is the first needle felting video that we've posted for a while.
Yes.
Because it takes a long time to do it.
It does.
It really takes a really long time.
Yes.
Why don't you give me a quick breakdown of the basic structure of how to felt something?
Okay. Well, you take unspun wool in bats or roving.
Okay. Whatever that means.
And you have a special needle that has barbs at the end.
A barbed needle.
Barbed needle.
And some wool.
And then you just start stabbing and sculpting and shaping and
right. Yeah.
Go from there.
Yeah, and I've seen you shape little bits of wool into tiny little shapes.
Right.
And then you needle those shapes onto other shapes.
Right.
And it's kind of it's like any other kind of additive sculpting.
Yes.
Like with clay, where you're just you're shaping things and then sticking those shapes onto other shapes.
Right.
Unlike subtractive, where you're carving out of wood or stone
Correct.
or whatever.
Yeah.
So you're going to drop some knowledge on us later with some standard needle felting tips.
I'll give you some tips.
Yeah, things that you've learned in the years that you've been doing this.
Yeah.
So in case there is anybody watching and they want to know, maybe the ins and outs of how to do this successfully.
Yeah.
To whatever degree we do it successfully.
Right, exactly.
I think you do a great job with it.
Oh,
so
thank you.
Any
I'm no
tips
expert.
that you give, I think, will be valuable.
Oh, good. Okay.
And that will occur sometime in this video.
Right.
I'm not sure when.
Right.
Between now and then, we'll probably just be chit-chatting about a bunch of stupid stuff.
Yes, exactly.
Like, for instance, I called you up about a month ago, and I read you off a list of actors.
Right.
And I told you to guess what role they all had in common.
Yeah.
And there was a really long list.
Yeah.
A long and varied list, and you couldn't guess. It took you quite a while.
Did not guess at first. I couldn't get it.
Right.
Yeah.
And it was the fact that so many actors have portrayed the devil.
Yes.
And we have talked about some of them while we were drawing some of our other villains.
Right.
And felting some of our other villains.
Yeah.
We talked about Lon Chaney Jr.
Right, when you inked the Wolfman.
Right, he played a devil or a demon at some point.
Okay.
Burgess Meredith.
From our Needle Felted Penguin video.
Right. I know he played some sort of devil in a Twilight Zone episode,
Yes.
and I think there was another movie that he did.
Yeah.
We mentioned Donald Pleasance.
Yeah, from the Nosferatu inking.
Right, Nosferatu. And, of course, I don't know if this is technically the devil, but Tim Curry.
Oh, right. Yeah, when we talked about Pennywise.
Right, he was in that movie Legend.
Yes.
He was red and he had horns.
Yeah.
I haven't seen Legend.
He looked like the devil.
That's fine, but there were also other actors on the list that, taken out of context, it seemed kind of hard to guess.
Yeah, it was for me.
Yeah, there were some acting luminaries like Al Pacino.
Right.
Robert De Niro.
Yeah.
Jack Nicholson,
Yes.
Vincent Price,
Wow.
and Rodney Dangerfield.
Wow.
Yes.
I don't remember him.
He's on the list.
He's okay.
I don't remember that. I don't remember when he played the devil. He still gets no respect.
That's great.
I do remember when Bill Cosby played the devil.
Oh?
The Devil and Max Devlin
Oh.
with Elliot Gould.
Okay, I don't think I saw that.
The devil takes many forms.
Was that a dog in his hive?
Anyway, if anyone's watching the video and you're wondering what's going on,
Yeah.
just to paint the broad strokes, I am using paper clay
Yeah.
to ham-fistedly sculpt the hard parts, the hooves and the horns.
Okay.
And I'm using armature wire
Yes.
because, well, for two reasons.
Right.
The armature wire on the base of the horns
Yes.
is there so that you can insert the horns into the devil's head.
Yes.
The armature wire of the legs
Mm-hmm.
is there for support.
Right.
Because this thing's going to be fairly large.
Yes.
And sometimes just unsupported wool felt
Yeah.
it'll topple.
Yeah, it'll
It's
fall
soft.
over.
Yeah.
Right.
So and then your part of this, which I refer to as the difficult part, is you're putting all of the personality
Aw.
into this wool sculpture.
Yeah.
And then at some point we're going to jam the parts together
Yeah.
and hope that it comes out okay.
Yes.
So my design for this little devil,
Yeah.
it's kind of based on that 70s illustration and animation style
Oh.
that was kind of fun,
Yeah.
but also a little creepy.
Oh, yeah.
Like, do you remember the Time for Timer
Yes.
interstitial shorts between the Saturday morning cartoons?
Yes. I love that guy.
Love the guy. Creeped me out a little.
Yeah.
Same thing with Sesame Street animation. There was stuff that was supposed to be comforting.
Yeah.
Like how to find your way home if you got lost.
Right.
But it kind of ran chills up my spine.
Yes.
It had a lot to do with the character design. And and the movie The Point,
Yeah.
about Oblio, the little round-headed kid.
Right.
I love that movie,
Yeah.
but some of that character design really made my skin crawl.
It's a little
so
creepy.
That's what I was aiming for.
Yeah. Good.
When I was talking before about you felting shapes onto shapes
Yeah.
and how long it took,
Right.
I mentioned it because at some point, a few different people, they liked the snowman video.
Yeah.
You also felted a penguin, a Batman villain penguin,
Right.
and people liked that video. And people started asking, are you guys ever going to put up another needle felting video?
Right.
But it does take a long time. But our
It
friend
does.
Don actually asked about it,
Yeah. He did.
which is nice. It's a compliment when someone is looking for content.
Right.
You
Yeah.
guys did something fun that was fun to watch. Can you
Yeah.
do some more? But I think he was asking because, did you say his daughter
Yes.
found out about felting at a party?
Right. Yeah. She went to a party months ago before the pandemic.
Well before.
Right. And as an activity there, they did some needle felting, and I thought that was awesome.
That is kind of fun.
Yeah.
I know that I do a lot of work in isolation here.
Uh-huh.
Even before we had to quarantine,
Right.
I do a lot of sitting alone in the studio and drawing. And I know that you can work alone as well.
Yeah.
It's kind of meditative. You know, you get to reflect.
Right.
But there is a certain excitement and electricity when you get together with people and do
Yeah.
stuff like
It's,
this.
Yeah, definitely true.
So maybe once the world rights itself
Yeah.
on its axis and we no longer have to quarantine and isolate, it
Yeah.
sounds like a needle felt party is a
Yeah.
pretty good idea.
It sounds great.
Except for possibly
Yeah.
the sheer number of needle pricked fingertips.
Yes, it happens.
That's a tough skill to learn.
Bring your Band-Aids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? As long as we're talking about what a tough skill it is to learn,
Yeah.
you said you had some tips.
I do have some tips.
Now, this will help people who are just starting out
Hopefully.
or people who have done it before.
I think both, and maybe the people that have done it before already know these things, but
Okay.
maybe they don't.
All right. Well, teach me.
Okay, I have a couple here.
All right.
I cover my felting pads in those felt sheets that you can get at the craft store
Yeah.
to help them make the foam last longer.
Okay. So you felt on top of like a foam bed.
Yes, it's a felting pad.
Oh, it's literally called a felting pad?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
And you could felt right on top of that.
you can.
You basically, that's there so that the needle doesn't go into your thigh.
Exactly.
Okay. But doing felting on top of a felting pad can tear up the felting pad.
Yeah.
It can really chew it. So you're saying
It does.
that those inexpensive, I think they're only like 50 cents.
Yeah, they are really
Those
cheap.
inexpensive synthetic sheets
Yeah.
of felt. You
yeah.
lay them on top of
Yeah.
those pads.
And you can sometimes see it in the video. I use different colored sheets on top of the felting pad.
Okay.
Yeah, so I put that on there to make the foam last longer.
Okay. Well, that's a good tip. So that's a money-saving tip.
Yeah.
A money-saving tip to help your foam felting pad
Yeah.
last longer.
Yeah.
All right, that's one.
Okay.
What's number 2?
Using different needles to do different things with your felting in the process.
How do you mean?
So you might notice that I have a couple different needles that I pick up during the process.
Yeah, there's always a few of them.
Yeah. So they do different things. I'm going to throw out some numbers just in case you want to look for them.
All right.
There is a 40T, and that is like an all-purpose needle.
Okay.
It does everything. You can attach, you can shape, you can sculpt.
That's a 40T.
Yeah. The next two are the two that I use the most, though.
Okay.
The 38 star, so the tip is star-shaped.
Oh.
And that's the red-handled one that I use in the videos.
Okay.
And I use it for most of my felting.
Now, what is it about that is so appealing to you that you use it so often?
Well, I like it better than the 40T because it seems to go in a lot smoother.
Okay.
I don't like my felting to firm up too quickly, so this kind of helps me
Okay.
do it in a slower manner.
That was a 38 star.
Yeah, and the last one is a 42T, and that's the blue one that I use, and that's for fine detail and smoothing. So
Is that a much finer needle?
It's a finer needle. It doesn't create the holes you see with other needles.
Okay.
And I use it to finish to get rid of wrinkles or any of those fuzzies or,
Okay.
you know,
That's a
things like that.
42T?
Yes.
Would a 42T, would that be the one that hurts the least as I send it sailing through my fingertip?
They all hurt equally.
Oh,
Because
okay.
they're all as sharp.
All right. So that's a tip to help your process. So what's
Yeah.
the third tip?
Third tip. So if you're making two of the same item, like ears, hands, whatever, it's wise to get those equal amounts of wool separated out first.
Oh.
So the same amount,
Okay.
you tear it
Well, that
into or
makes
whatever,
sense.
so you have the same amount so that they're going to be the same size.
That would probably work like that with almost anything that you're sculpting.
Yeah.
Like
yeah,
the
absolutely.
hooves that I made,
Right.
I will admit, I'm
Yeah.
not a sculptor. I don't work in 3D like you.
Right.
I made one hoof, one
Okay.
horrible, terrible looking hoof,
Right.
and then I grabbed more clay,
Okay.
but I don't know how much clay I grabbed for the
Right.
first hoof.
Right.
So my
Yeah.
hooves are perhaps not matching.
Yeah. It does help a little bit with the
Where
matching.
were these tips?
Sorry.
While I was sculpting the paper clay? Where were these vital tips?
In my brain.
Thanks for nothing.
You're welcome.
Well, anyway,
Yeah.
this part of the video,
Uh-huh.
adding some personality.
Yeah.
You did such a fantastic job.
Huh.
I know that you sculpt well, you've been felting for a long time, and
Yeah.
you know, you always do a good job. But for some reason, when you started putting his face together, when all those different separate felted parts and pieces,
Right.
when you started felting those all together
Uh-huh.
onto the red potato,
Right.
he really started coming alive.
Yeah.
The smile is perfect. I love the way you crafted the smile. I love that big potato nose. And I know the eyes go on in separate layers. You know, you have the yellow of the eyes, the
Right.
evil yellow eyes.
Right.
Indicative of a sickness.
Yeah.
And then you put on these goofy eyelids
Yeah.
that just gave him this kind of half sleepy look, but
Yes.
also a little smarmy.
Yeah, he does, right?
Yeah, and then I know this is based on my design. I'm not
course it
really
is.
complimenting myself. What I'm
Well, I am.
complimenting is the fact that I like your 3D sculpture even better than I like my original flat design.
Well, that's very nice of you to say.
Oh, and those ears were great.
The ears.
But I think that when you finally start putting the eyebrows on,
Yes.
when you give him that one waggly eyebrow,
Right.
the one raised one, and then the one that kind of dips down,
Yeah.
I think he really comes alive for me.
Yeah, he has personality.
I wish the red wool photographed just a little bit better.
Yeah, I'm actually using 2 shades of red, and
Yeah.
that doesn't show up that great on camera.
It doesn't.
Yeah, I think he has more personality in person.
Yeah, in person, those two reds really bounce off of each other.
Right.
But, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, there the eyebrows are going in.
Oh, good.
Wow.
Wow.
Talk about personality. Look at that face. Hello. Would you you like to make a bargain with me? Would you like to try to best me at the violin?
Oh my.
I really love this sculpture.
Oh, good.
You know, he might not be my favorite guy,
Right, exactly.
but as far as a cartoon monster,
Right.
this looks like I would love to see an animated version of this guy walking around.
Oh, that would be fun.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what wasn't a lot of fun
What?
was trying to figure out how to make the pitchfork.
Oh, right.
So that was my job.
Yeah.
Here's what I did.
Okay.
I started with a pitchfork I cut from illustration board,
Right.
but it was really flimsy.
Yeah.
So then I ended up with a dowel rod that I sharpened. And
Yeah.
then I wrapped some armature wire around that,
Okay.
the shape of a pitchfork.
Yeah.
I covered the armature wire with some of the paper clay.
Yeah.
And then once that dried, I painted the paper clay red.
Yeah.
It was a really nice red,
Yeah.
but there was just too much red in the piece
Right.
overall. So I ended up spraying over the red with a black paint that kind of had a hammered finish.
That looks nice.
You know, I think it turned out pretty good.
Yeah.
So we're coming into the home stretch here.
Yeah.
We're putting it all together.
Yes.
You're putting it all together.
Okay.
Really. You're doing most of the work. And at this point, it should be obvious to you
Okay.
and anyone who's watching
Yeah.
that my paper clay sculpting skills are well beneath your wool sculpting skills. I look at this and I don't know why I drew such elegant, sleek horns on this design. When I knew in my heart that the best I could hope for, the best case scenario, would be two mangled cocktail weenies stuck on his head.
My
But
God.
I hope it doesn't drag down your finished product too much.
No, not at all.
But we're having fun doing it.
Yeah.
So he is getting his arms.
Yeah.
You've put on his legs
Yes.
already with the hooves that I sculpted.
Yeah.
The horns have yet to come.
Right.
But there is something that we worked on, the tail,
Oh, yeah.
where we have the armature wire.
Right.
And unfortunately, that has to be inserted
Right.
and glued in.
Yes.
Now, nothing naughty is happening here.
No.
But there's an uncomfortable
It's
visual.
a little uncomfortable.
Yeah,
Yeah. Nobody
So-
needs to see that.
yeah. So we're going to spare people
Good.
that horrible sight.
Okay.
But just know, everyone should know that that was just a completely natural
Right.
tail insertion.
Tail. Yes.
Yeah, and now we're going to put in the horns.
Okay.
And once the horns are in, this felt sculpture is done.
Yeah.
I hope this video has been entertaining at
Yeah.
least, if not hopefully educational
Yeah, me too.
for people that want to felt.
I hope so.
Yeah, well, I like watching you work. I like seeing your process.
Huh.
And I think other people will too.
Yeah.
So here is my original design.
Yeah.
And here is your finished, our collaboration, really.
Our collaboration.
Our collaboration
Yeah.
on the devil.
The pitchfork turned out nice.
Yeah, you know, it turned out to be more of a liability than an asset. We thought he was going to balance with that.
Right.
But it's really kind of wobbly.
Yeah.
But his tail is good as a balancing element.
Yeah.
Well, there he is.
Awesome.
The dark one.
No.
I don't think he's so dark. I think he's more of a goofball.
He is a little goofy.
This may be a low-level demon now that
Yeah.
I'm looking at him.
Yeah. We'll go with that.
Yeah, he just happened to steal his big brother's pitchfork.
Yes, he did.